Just when it looked like the settlers of Jamestown would be wiped out by disease and starvation, the local Indians, led by their chief, Powhatan, stepped in and saved them.
Jamestown existed at all because Powhatan decided to allow it to exist. Because if they were completely dependent on the Indians for food. And so then the question is, why did Powhatan let them stay? And I think the answer has to be because he also saw this as something that would be beneficial. Those manufactured goods, particularly iron tools, would be useful to him.
Powhatan, the powerful Indian chief, saw the English settlers as valuable trading partners. The new iron tools would prove invaluable for farming, hunting, and fighting. It started out as a mutually beneficial arrangement, but a drought increased tension because the Indians themselves were struggling to find food.
The colonists were making these incredible demands on the Indians at a time when they themselves were very hard-pressed.
The relationship started well, but eventually dissolved into violence. After the colony's leader, John Smith, was injured from a gunpowder accident, he left Jamestown and returned to England. Order in the settlement quickly disintegrated. The colonists began to torment the local Indians and burn nearby villages. In 1614, the Indians and the Virginians settled into an uneasy truce when entrepreneur John Rolfe married Powhatan's daughter, Pocahontas.
And that brings the tension, for the moment, the tension between the English and the Indians in the Chesapeake to a halt. It's not because of the marriage, but the marriage, I think, offers them a chance to draw back and say, okay, we're going to try a different relationship.
However, the truce did not last. The Indians rebelled when the colonists expanded their settlements further and further into Indian lands. In 1622, Powhatan's brother, Opechancanough, led local Indians in a massive attack on the colony.
They do succeed in killing a third of the colonists, but they don't end the project.
The 900 surviving colonists responded by burning Indian villages and slaughtering their inhabitants. Violence between the colonists and the Indians marked the next 20 years. Finally, in 1644, colonists crushed Opechancanoug's last desperate rebellion in what is known as the Second Anglo-Powhatan War. 30 years after landing at Jamestown, the colonists drove the surviving Indians west, forcing them to seek permission to enter areas of European settlement.